like magic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How we connect with people. Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew,
My name is Marian,
and welcome to our podcast.
and today we're gonna talk about what's the best of being Filipino. Ikaw Kuya Matt, what do you think?
First comes to my mind, being Filipino is really family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
The grandma and great grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
they stay with their family. So I think that's a unique part of being Filipino. Not I'm saying that only Filipinos are like that, but I think we have. Well, for me, I think we have the strongest.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's the same for me kasi growing up, I can't imagine having less cousins, less siblings.
mhm.
And if that was the case, I wouldn't be here. Kasi I'm the youngest. And
And to be fair and be honest, like our memories with our cousins, with
it's
our
irreplaceable.
it's irreplaceable.
And then, I don't know, maybe that's also why uh, some kids here are depressed kasi there's not much of interaction between, well, not all, but
But some.
some. Kasi for me, I'm at that age of thinking about family in maybe in five
Mhm.
years, and I'm thinking it's expensive to have kids here.
It is.
Uh-huh.
It-
And
I think the generation now. I think even in the Philippines,
but
maybe it's less.
but we have nannies there, so it's easier.
Nannies,
Kasi
which is also part of our family.
yeah, and we call them ate.
Mhm.
So and that's the thing. If you're here, we don't really kahit even if you're rich. Like I think right now we're rich. Like money wise, mas marami tayong pera here compared when we were in the Philippines.
Mhm.
Pero even though we had less over there, we had access to nannies,
Mhm.
which made our parents' life easier raising us.
Yeah,
Kasi-
that makes sense.
Kasi-
I remember mom is telling us that each one of us has we have our own
And then
nannies.
you told your coworker about it. And his reaction, who was that? Was that your previous supervisor?
Yeah. And we have our own nannies. Like, oh, what are you like? Are you a royalty or something?
Are you
No,
the
that's
crazy rich Asian?
that's common in the Philippines.
Mhm.
But yeah, but the good thing, the good part about it as well is when we were growing up, our parents guide us to treat our nannies as part of family.
Family. I mean, our foundation was good in the first place kasi what they told us is if you don't want them doing that to you, you shouldn't be doing that to anyone.
I think that's the golden rule, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be specific. Like
Mhm.
you should be treating everyone nice in the first
Yeah,
place.
that's true. And yeah, that's family orientation in the Philippines is quite unique, and I think it's a good part of being Filipino.
And I think also one of the reason why bakit ganun ang mga Filipino is because it's more laid back.
Mhm.
Na while over here, things just work, and then after you get off work, you're still thinking about work, and then you wake up, oh work, and then it's just work and work, and sometimes we forget what's the most important part of our life, which is family and friends.
Yes,
And some
relationships, right?
Relationships, and most of the time we don't even have time anymore. What's more on
I think we're exchanging our time for money instead of building relationships.
yeah,
I think that's the culture now.
yeah, that I think that's a culture here kasi when you think about it, Kuya Matt, you need to make money to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
If you don't make money, then you'll be
Gutom.
yeah.
Dito kasi if you don't have anything here, I think it's harder to survive versus in the Philippines when you have nothing, you don't have a job, or you don't have a source of income. You can still rely to your close relatives, or you won't. I would say you won't get starved easily because you have access to your relatives
Mhm.
there.
But going back to our topic, what's part of being Filipino is one thing is since going back to the family thing and friends.
Mhm.
All my friends, kasi we went to the same school for almost since we were
Mhm.
nursery up to growing up. I feel like we're already family. Where can you see that type of our relationship where your classmates are your family, diba?
Yeah. And you can actually differentiate it here because you experience
So
being high
so
school
I
here.
can differentiate that kasi so I had a lot of friends in high school here. Maybe I had 20, 25, but guess how many I only talked to? Maybe three.
Like your close circle.
It's closer. Well, for my close circle before, I used to talk to maybe at least, let's say at least 10, but I don't talk to those people anymore because of work, and then you just forget about them for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if you see them, then I guess you're still friends, but it's not the same as how come I'm still friends with most of my classmates
Back in the Philippines,
yeah, back
right?
in the Philippines. So
Same here.
I think we have that invisible connection, or it's like magic.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like
Yeah.
how we connect with people.
Let me ask you this, Kuya Matt, because a lot of people think Filipinos are happy people, but do you think behind those happiness are they just hiding their uh, problems? Kasi most of the time, if you think about it, the more problems na na-conquer ng tao, they look happy
Mhm.
most of the time, but at the same time, they're the saddest.
In our trait kasi as Filipino, like if for example, if someone is scolding you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your teacher or
And
like
then
your
you're
professor.
gonna laugh.
So sometimes you not necessarily laugh,
Uh-huh.
but you kind of smile. Behind those smiles, I think all humans has their own battles to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those
Mhm.
smiles are just like defense mechanism, so that other people don't
So,
see us as weak.
so it's a defense mechanism. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, in my own
So
observation,
that goes back to my question where usually, if a person is sad, they usually smile most of the time. Well, they hide it with their smile and
I think
laughter.
yeah, I think that's part of their coping
Kasi
mechanism.
where can you see na binabagyo ka na pero yung mga tao they're still smiling.
They're still swimming,
Only
right?
in the Philippines.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
Yeah.
Who would be happy na binabaha yung buong bahay mo?
It's a fascinating thing though, right? The people find positivity in some sad moments,
Mhm.
like when there's a disaster, they still get strength to smile or to laugh about it.
Mhm.
But I think it's just our culture as well that Filipinos are brave.
And
They know how to fight their own battles. We always try to find
we
positivity on
yeah,
anything.
if there's something if we have problems we try at
Yeah,
least.
we try. Yeah,
We try to fix it. We try not to be more sad about it.
and we all know that Philippines is not a developed country. Probably less opportunity than most developing
Mm-hmm.
countries. Even though with that, Filipino people appreciate small stuff because we came from almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a developing country, if you convert your financials to developing country, it's almost nothing, right?
That's why.
I think even if it's a small thing, then we appreciate even the slightest thing of it.
Mhm.
And I think that's a good thing. Most people are depressed, even though they have everything,
Yeah.
because they don't see what's going to happen if they don't have that something.
Yeah, that reminds me of one time when you were still in college, but you were reading this book about. So you had a class for English class.
Mhm.
You were reading this book, and this guy, Americans are rich. They're just not aware of it because
Yeah,
they already had access to it on the first place. Kasi where can you find a country where you can buy a car with minimum wage?
yeah.
And then some people would argue the cost of living in the Philippines is not that expensive.
It is expensive.
It is expensive.
I know it is expensive.
Like for example, food is almost the same price.
Yeah, I remember last time I visited Philippines. Their McDonald's is almost the same price with McDonald's here.
And then guess how much they're getting paid? A lot less.
Yeah,
compared from here. And I guess that's also one reason why it's good to be Filipino because we appreciate the small stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not saying everyone is not appreciating the small stuff.
I think-
it's just one of our characteristics. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
you don't have it. That's the scary part too kasi the more we get used to it, sometimes we forget how to appreciate the small stuff. For example, so as we grow older, diba? We're getting access to the stuff that we didn't have access anymore. For example, that day if we go out to eat, we're happy. Pero what's the feeling right now if we go, oh, it's just
expenses.
this is an expense. But how can we can't appreciate that? Na
Yeah.
we can go
Mhm.
out, diba? Pero parang anong nangyari, it's more of parang negative.
Yeah.
Na, oh, we're going, oh, gastos. Parang,
Yeah.
I think that goes back to if you already have it, it's hard to appreciate it.
Mhm.
Kasi we've been going out and then parang sawa na tayo doon.
Yeah.
And I guess.
Same thing with possessions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like cell phones,
Mhm.
for example.
I read something about possessions. That the more you possess like things, the less happier you become.
Mhm.
Which I think makes sense because the
Mhm.
more you have, the less you become appreciative of even small things.
Mhm.
Just focus on appreciating those small things.
And that goes back to that's why family and friends are important to relationship.
Because those are the things that you
Mhm.
cannot buy or you cannot
Uh-huh.
choose. Like
Yeah.
when you were born, then
You're
that's
born
that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your siblings.
Mhm. There's no reset button.
Yeah.